ሰላም እንደምን ቆያችሁ? ዛሬ እንደተለመደው በሌላ ቪዲዮ ከቻስ ብለናል። የዛሬ ቪዲዮአችን የባዮሎጂ ቻፕተር 1 ፎር ሪሚዲያል ያዘጋጀናቸው ከቻፕተር 1 ላይ ተወጣጡ ብዙ ጊዜ የሪሚዲያል ጥያቄዎች ላይ ይጠይቃሉ ብለን ያሰብናቸው ከዚህ በፊትም የተጠየቁ ጥያቄዎችን ለእናንተ እንካችሁ ብለናል። ለቻናሉ አዲስ ከሆናችሁ ሰብስክራይብ ማድረጉ እንዳይረሳ። ማንኛውም ያላችሁን አስተያየት ኮሜንት ሴክሽን ላይ ጻፍ አድርጉልን። እንዲሁም ይህ ቪዲዮ ከተመቻችሁ በላይክ አንበሽብሹ። ቀጥታ ወደ ቪዲዮ እንሄዳለን። አንደኛ, which of the following describe the three interrelated concepts involving in the study of science? A. Method, field, and result of investigation. B. Hypothesis, prediction, and rewriting truth. C. Observations, calculations, and reporting system. D. Variables, controls, and experimental parameters. What will be the answer? The answer is A. It's the best answer. ግልጽ ነው አይደለ? ያ ሁለተኛ, in scientific method, which are observations classified when they involve describing characteristics such as color, odor, or texture. A. Quantitative information. B. Qualitative information. C. Deductive variable. D. Theoretical facts. What will be the answer? ምንድነው የሚያብለው? ካራክተሪስቲክሱ ከለር፣ ኦርደር ኤንድ ቴክስት ነው አይደል? the answer is C. It's the best answer. ሶስተኛ, a scientist notes that apple X is sweet, apple Y is sweet, and apple Z is sweet, and concludes that all apples are sweet. Which pattern of thought does this illustrate? A. Deductive reasoning. B. Inductive reasoning. C. Controlled variation. D. Logical falsification. What will be the answer? The answer is B. Deductive reasoning is the best answer. አራተኛ, what happens when a new scientific observation directly contradicts an established tentative hypothesis? A. The hypothesis must be accepted as an absolute law. B. The observation is ignored to maintain scientific continuity. C. The hypothesis must be modified or entirely rejected. D. Scientific field must temporarily stop using experiments. The answer is C is the best answer. C is the best answer. Because if hypothesis ከሪል ጋር ከተጋጨ or ሪያሊቲን ያማከለ ካልሆነ ሃይፖቴሲሱን እናደርጋለን ሞዲፋይ እናደርጋለን or እሱ ሪጀክት አድርገን ሌላ ሃይፖቴሲስ ክሬት እናደርጋለን ማለት ነው። አምስተኛ, in an experiment designed to test how different temperatures affect the growth rate of corn seedling, what types of variable is the temperature? A. Dependent variable. B. Controlled variable. C. Independent variable. D. Theoretical variable. What will be the answer? The answer is independent variable is the best answer. Yeah, independent variable. ስድስተኛ, what is the primary role of control group in all planned biological experiment? A. To introduce multiple independent variables simultaneously. B. To provide a baseline reference for comparison with the treated group. C. To maximize the random error encountered during observations. D. To change the independent variable without affecting experimental outcome. The answer is B is the best answer. ሰባተኛ, when a hypothesis has withstood extensive testing across independent investigation and remain constantly supported, it transitions into A. Preliminary observation. B. Intelligent guess. C. Theory. D. Experimental variable. The answer is theory. C is the best answer because the hypothesis ምን ተደርጓል? withstood extensive testing across independent investigation እና remain constantly supported ከተደረገ የሆነ ሃይፖቴሲስ አለ። ያ ሃይፖቴሲሱ በቼክ አድርገ ነው ዜን ቴስት ከተደረገ በኋላ ተመሳሳይ ከሆነ ከሪያሊቲው ጋር ያ ነገር ቲዮሪ እንለዋለን ማለት ነው። ስምንተኛ, the key and log description of enzyme action and the Witten-Crick double helix structure are excellent example of which of scientific approach? A. Modeling. B. Inductive promising. C. Statistical. D. Qualitative publication. The answer is A. Modeling is the best answer. ዘጠነኛ, which phase of scientific experimentation requires running an experiment repeatedly to confirm consistency and validate conclusion. A. Hypothesis formation. B. Evaluation. C. Initial perception. D. Problem selection. The answer is B. Evaluation is the best answer. አስረኛ Why is reporting and publication result in journal and conference considered a vital part of scientific method? A. It keeps scientific idea completely secret from the public. B. It guarantees that a theory can never be modified or rejected in the future. C. It shares knowledge with the scientific community and prevent uncertainty repetition of work. D. It transforms dependently. It transforms dependently variable directly into controlled constant. The answer is C is the best answer. 11ኛ Which component of a biological investigation mark the absolute starting point before hypothesis can be built? A. Publishing data summaries. B. Statistical testing. C. Accurate observation with curiously. D. Drawing final conclusion. The answer is C. Accurate observation with curiously is the best answer. Accurate observation with curiously is the best answer. 12ኛ What is the key feature of deductive logical thought pattern? A. It proceeds from specific instance to general rules. B. It proceeds from general premise to specific conclusion. C. It completely avoids using logical statement or premises. D. It relies entirely on qualitative field measurement. The answer is B is the best answer. 13ኛ What types of variables must be held constant across all experimental groups to prevent confounding the results? A. Independent variable. B. Dependent variable. C. Controlled variable. D. Hypothetical variable. What will be the answer? The answer is C, because constant across all experimental የሚለው በኛው ኤክስፐሪመንት ሲንግርስ ኮንስታንት ምንም ማንካከው ምንም አይነት ኤክስፐሪመንት አፕላይ ማድረግበት ይባላል controlled variable። 14ኛ scientific truth is considered relatively and dynamic because it can never be tested or evaluated by independent researcher. B. It is absolute and completely unchanging over time. C. Existing facts must be continuously tested, evaluated, and reconstructed as a new evidence areas. D. It based entirely on unapproval personal opinions. The answer is C is the best answer. C is the best answer. 15ኛ When an invariable scientific theory is supported across all circumstances with predictable variable, it may be accepted as A. Tentative guess. B. Fact principle or law. C. Preliminary observation parameter. D. Independent test variable. The answer is B is the best answer. Fact, principle, or law is the best answer. 16ኛ Which tool would a biologist most likely choose for field research rather than laboratory analysis? A. Centrifuge. B. Mortar and pestle. C. Altimer. D. Water bath oven. The answer is ለፊልድ ነው አርባሊች ብዙ ጊዜ የሚጠቀሙት የሚለው መልሱ ምንድነው? C is the best answer. 17ኛ What is the distinguishing characteristic of a simple microscope such as standard hand lens? A. It uses a beam of electrons focused by electromagnets. B. It consists of a single bioconvex lens in supporting frame. C. It combines the magnitude power of an ocular lens and an objective lens. D. It requires killing living cells before any observation can begin. The answer is B is the best answer. 18ኛ What is the maximum magnification power typically achieved by a standard compound light microscope? A. Around 20 times. B. Up to 1500. C. Over 500,000. D. Exactly 10 times. What will be the answer? The answer is B is the best answer. How does magnification differ fundamentally from resolving power or resolution? A. Magnification improves image clarity while resolution only changes image size. B. Magnification is simple image enlargement whereas resolution is the ability to distinguish two separate points clearly. C. Resolution works only with light beams while magnification works only with electron streams. D. There is no functional difference. Both terms describe identical structure action. The answer is B is the best answer because magnification simply ምንድን ነው? large ማድረግ ነው size. resolution when it comes to resolution separating ስለሆነ ማለት ነው። 20ኛ What types of microscope would be most appropriate to study the fine detailed internal structure of living cell without killing or staining them? A. Transmission electron microscope. B. Scanning electron microscope. C. Phase contrast microscope. D. Simple dissecting hand lens. What will be the answer? The answer is C is the best answer. አንደኛ what is a major limitation of using an electron microscope compared to a compound light microscope? A. It has an incredibly low resolving power. B. Living cells must be killed before they can be observed due to the vacuum system. C. It can only use natural sunlight as an energy source. D. It cannot magnify any object beyond 10 times its original size. The answer is B is the best answer. 22ኛ if a student uses a combined microscope equipment with 10 times ocular lens and 40 times objective lens, what is the total magnification of the specimen? A. 15, B. 400, C. 13, D. 4000. The answer is B. 400 is the best answer. 23ኛ Which part of the compound microscope is responsible for regulating the amount of light that passed up through the specimen? A. Stage clips. B. Body thumb. C. Wrist diaphragm. D. Coarse adjustment knob. The answer is C. Wrist diaphragm is the best answer. 24ኛ What is the purpose of the fine adjustment knob on a compound microscope? A. To switch between different objective lenses. B. To precisely sharpen the image focus, especially under high power. C. To physically look the slide onto the board stage surface. D. To change the magnification power of the ocular lens. The answer is B is the best answer. 25ኛ Which piece of equipment is defined as a software package used for the visual display or special data and geographical computations? A. GPS. B. GIS. C. Altimeter mapping hardware. D. Scanning detector system. The answer is B. GIS is the best answer. 26ኛ Why does an electron microscope possess a much higher resolving power than a standard light microscope? A. It uses long wavelengths of light energy. B. Electrons have much shorter wavelengths than light ray. C. It contains multiple resolving noise pieces. D. It operates outside a vacuum system. The answer is B is the best answer. B is the best answer. 27ኛ Which microscope types can an electron beam back and forth across a sample surface to create a high detailed 3D image of its exterior? A. Transmission electron microscope. B. Scanning electron microscope. C. Phase contrast microscope. D. Binocular dissecting microscope. What will be the answer? B. Scanning electron microscope is the best answer. 28ኛ Which microscope part contains the revolving disc where multiple objective lenses are screwed in place? A. Ocular tube. B. Noise piece. C. Iris lever. D. base support. The answer is B. Nose piece is the best answer. 29ኛ Which tool is specialized field instrument used by biologists to securely preserve dry and flattened plant specimen? A. Petri dish. B. Plant splitters. C. Dissecting scalpel. D. Pipette system. The answer is B. Plant press is the best answer. 30ኛ What optical lens component set closest to the specimen? What optical lens component set closest to the specimen laid on a standard compound light microscope stage? A. Ocular lens. B. Objective lens. C. Mirror collector. D. Iris diaphragm leaf. The answer is B. Objective lens is the best answer. የዛሬ ቪዲዮአችን ይህ ይመስል ነበር። ከ30 ስንት እንዳመጣችሁ ኮሜንት ሴክሽን ላይ ጻፍ አድርጉልን። የቻናሉ አዲስ ከሆናችሁ ሰብስክራይብ መደረግ እንዳይረሳ። ማንኛውም ያላችሁን አስተያየት ኮሜንት ሴክሽን ላይ ጻፍ አድርጉልን። መልካም ፈተና እያልን ሰላማችሁ ይብዛ። ሰላም